by you. So, Mr. William, as I promised, my Maury COVID story. I remember so clear. It was like it was yesterday.
When it comes to the child of Paul Montano.
So I was working at my previous job, but I was working long hours, trying to get myself out of this hole that I created for myself. And that included a lot of hours, extra days, this, that, and that. So I met a female over there and, worked together, different shifts, but we would see each other. And for a time, she was on the same shift. And we would talk, get to know each other for like a year. It was just chit chat, getting to know each other. So before everything jumped off, we had a conversation. And again, this was like a year after talking. So conversation went like this. Hey, you're feeling me. I'm feeling you. Like, what's up? And I'm like, well, I don't like to do work and people, that's never a good thing. I'm like, but if I can be honest with you. And here's the thing about my honesty, Will. I'm honest. If I say something, it's because I mean it. So if I say I'm broke, that means for whatever the reason is, I don't have 2 nickels to rub together. Paid my bills, I'm broke. I ain't got it, I'm broke. That means I'm hit. So in that conversation, and again, I say that because some people go, yeah, I'm broke too. And then they'll get a notification from their phone like, oh, the new quad I bought is coming in. Or, hey, I bought 2 PlayStation 5s, they're on their way. Oh, man, right. I hate being broke. It's like, nah, you're not really broke. You're just frivolously spending money. There's a difference. So if I say I'm broke, I'm broke. So in this conversation I had with Shorty, I said, I'm working crazy hours. I'm in PA by myself. I come home to an empty house every day. Long story short, I'm having a lonely spell right now. And she's like, oh, I'm lonely too. I don't do anything with work and blah, 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 blah. I said, well, look, man. I said, you're lonely. I'm lonely. And I'm the type that if I'm not looking for a relationship, but I mess with you, I just mess with you. I hear you. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't go, okay, I'm single, we're doing me, but I'm going to try to get everything else. I don't like to do that. So she's like, oh, that's how I do it too. If I'm just messing with somebody, even if it's not anything, I just do that. Oh boy.
Me too.
So I said, well, look, I'm not looking for I don't have the time. And I'm truthful. I'm not looking for a relationship. I don't have the energy. I don't have the time. I'm trying to do things. I'm trying to get out this hole. I don't have the sacrifice I need to make a relationship work. So I'm not looking for a relationship. Me too. Okay.
Did she start the Me Too movement?
It's just the Me Too movement. So we started to kick it intimately, we'll say.
Gotcha.
So one thing leads to another, and not gonna lie, a couple moments. Again, we had this talk too, so that talk was already there. So a couple of times, moments of weakness. A couple of times, protection wasn't used.
Okay.
But we had that talk. Like, yo, I'm not, I take this part very seriously. She was like, no, I understand. This is where I stand. Okay. Both not seeing anybody else. Both haven't been anybody in a long time. Cool beans. So fast forward a couple months. And now we're on different shifts. So I don't see her during the day, whatever. So she calls out one day, whatever. Calls out another day. calls out like a third straight day and not answering my texts. I'm like, oh God, I think I know what's going on. So I hit her up one day. I'm like, what's up? She's like, I'm pregnant.
Oh.
I said,
Me too.
huh?
You should have said me too.
Me too.
So I was doing them a favor and working a third shift. So it was from 10 at night and I'm leaving at like 7 in the morning. And I get that message. So I'm like, all right, I'm on my way. So I go over there and I'm there till like the afternoon, just talking shit out. That's when she reveals to me, she goes, so look, just so you know, I was kicking it with somebody else too. I said, okay. So she, now mind you, I'm still, don't want to say paranoid, but I'm still very, I follow my own little rules, I guess we'll say. So even those times I didn't use protection, I never what's the nice way of putting this? I never finished in her. There you go. So
Gotcha.
she was like, yeah, but you never finished. I'm like, yeah, I know. She goes, but there is such a thing called pre-com. So you have to take that into account. And I did. So she goes, yeah, I was messing with this other dude. And it just so worked. Turned out it was another coworker. So
Dun, dun, dun.
Dun, dun, so
and you know him. You know
yes.
him probably. So,
yeah.
Of course.
Yes. So she goes, well, we use protection, but one day she said it like this and made me laugh. She goes, it got lost somewhere. So we just said, let's just keep going. So I was like a magic trick.
Wow.
So now, and there's certain people you do things with, but you don't, in your head, you never see it going to another level. So where we stood at was, we're just going to fuck around. But I don't see this going anywhere else. Like, I don't see you as that type of person in my life.
Gotcha.
So I told her, I'm like, yeah, I don't know. I'm like, don't get me wrong. Like, we'll see how this plays out. I'm like, but I never thought this would happen with me and you. And she took offense to that shit. So I was like, just being honest though.
But you had to talk with that before, like in the beginning. So like, how can you be?
Yeah, that's what I don't get. Yeah.
Yeah.
God.
So I said, look, we don't know shit about shit yet. So let's just keep this to ourselves. And she was like, I agree. No problem. Next day, everybody knew about it at work.
Paul's walking in like, here's Paul. Here's the guy that she's been sleeping with and possibly the dad of her kid.
Dude, I'm talking
Let's bring him out here.
I'm talking human resource. I'm talking everybody was in the know.
Oh, man.
So
people love gossip, man. Oh, gosh.
Jesus.
And meanwhile, nobody had an answer as to what was what. We just knew the players in the game. Me, her, this other dude. That's as far as anybody really knew about anything. So, but people like to gossip, people like to talk shit, whatever. Now, here's the thing. I'm good with kids. I like kids. I don't have a biological clock, but I'm getting older, but I would never mind having a kid. I think I would be a good dad. I think I would raise a kid well. I carry myself right. I think I would be all right in that role.
Right.
So, but talking with this girl, I'm like, look, man, I'm not. Just be cool. She was like, I'm not that type of girl to do da. Just be this, I don't want to say hood rat, but just be this piece of shit. Turn into the typical girl. And immediately she turned into that typical girl. of just having an attitude, being a dick, like putting that shit in people's faces, and just really taking it to other levels. So she started to be that. Now I'm like, oh God, this might be my future baby mom. Like, fuck. And the other dude caught it worse. So I found out later that she actually really liked the other dude. But he was just like, get the fuck out of my face. Like, like I was taking it like, all right, let's see how it goes. If it's mine, I'm gonna man up. He was like, get the fuck out of my face. Even if that is mine, it ain't mine. So
wow.
Oh, he was not, yeah, he wasn't bullshitting. So now, mind you, I'm just getting in the right frame of mind. I'm now kind of getting motivated after being in a very not so great place mentally, negatively, and all that. I'm like, this is it, my year. And then boom, here comes the news. And I'm just like, fuck. So, not gonna lie, drop me right back down. The worry of it all starts to come in. You know, I'm trying to take care of myself, trying to dig myself out of this hole. If this kid is mine and this girl who's now an asshole is going to be that. So that put me, I'm not even gonna lie, that put me in a back to being negative. So the only bright spot was, it just took a while to get there, was after about 5 months, 6 months, a couple of truths started coming out. So by the end of it, I was like, ain't mine. Still need to take the test and do everything I had to do to confirm it. But when truth started to come out, I started to feel a little bit better about myself. The only problem was it took months of just having bad shit going to my head and having to deal with her negativity and having to deal with a bunch of bullshit. Took months of that before truth started to come out. So one of the truths that came out was, because me and the dude, we had an awkward phase of like a month that we wouldn't acknowledge each other. Just what up, and that was it. Go our separate ways. After like the first month, I walked up to dude. I'm like, yo, man, what you think about all this shit? And then we had actually a talk. And that's when, again, my truths are my truths, man. If I did it, it's because I did it. If I can't do it, it's because I can't do it. My yays are yays and my nays are nays. So I gave my truth to homeboy. He gave me his truth. His truth made me go, oh, okay. His truth was, man, we got hammered drunk one night. And it was like cream pie 37. Like, it was just like...
Wow. White slaves cream pie 3.
Oh shit.
So I was following rules. Oh, take that in your face, take it. He was just like staring around. He was like, it feels so good, I don't want to come out.
It's his.
So, but it took months to get there though. So I have this, you know, I'm going through the mental anguish of the whole process and her negativity and the shit going on because co-workers can't shut the fuck up. So it was months of a beat down to hear that story and like I said, find more truths that started to come out. So kid's born, beautiful baby was. So had to wait for the baby to be born so I could take this DNA test. Oh, wait, but before that, one of the last talks that we had, I went, oh, shit, I forgot about this part. So one of the reasons why we had those couple of moments of weakness, because she said, and I quote, she can't get pregnant. Physically impossible, had past issues that fucked with her plumbing, we'll say, and it's physically impossible for her to have one. Okay. So that's part of it. So we're having this conversation, and you know, she's being a dick. Honestly, she's just being that girl. And I was like, well, you know, I said, not for nothing, you said you couldn't get pregnant. And her answer was this: well, it's your fault for trusting me.
Wow.
Wow.
Your fault for trusting me. Wow.
So I heard that. That was the last talk I had with her. After that, I just stood in her house for like 10 extra minutes of silence, and I was like, I'm gonna go. And that was the last like full grown-up conversation I had with her. So
wow, man.
When she said that, now here's the thing. There's some truth to that. Probably not the best setting to say it, and you probably could say it differently. It's not what you say, it's how you say it. Oh, I also found out, huh?
I was gonna say, like, if you didn't say all that and like dogged her out, just like hit it and quit it and kind of deal, you would have been looked at as a fucking dog, as a fucking like been in a whole bunch of the negative things about you, whatever, where it wasn't even about that, you know?
Like I said, man, my yays are my yays and my knees are my knees. I don't fuck around with people's emotions because there's no sense in doing it, especially if we're fucking around. I'm not gonna do that. I had my emotions fucked with. What I wanted to say was, also come to find out, it was me, it was a dude, and another dude who didn't work there, just some random dude, was also thrown into the mix.
So she was messing with two other dudes then. Oh, wow.
On top of, but remember, I'm lonely too. I'm alone too, and da-da-da. Like, again, I say I'm broke. I'm lonely. I'm not messing with anybody. I mean, I'm lonely. I'm not messing with anybody.
There you go, sure.
She was like, yeah, me too. Meanwhile, she has half the week calendar filled up with dudes. Like, so, yeah. So then she said, you know, it's my fault for trusting her. Which is true. But then, you know, she also said, but I guess you didn't because you didn't in me. I was like, nope. I was like, no, I didn't.
Nope.
So she had the kid. Like I said, beautiful little baby. Then I
Boy or girl?
Girl.
Girl.
So then I had to go take the DNA test. So, you know, I went there. And when she came, that was the first time that we started speaking since that conversation. That she said, it's my fault for trusting her. And that was the first time I saw the baby. And I looked away. What?
I'm just fast forwarding, thinking of a part that I think you're gonna get to and how I would have reacted. But go ahead, my bad.
So I looked at the baby. You know, she brought her in because, you know, you got to swab the baby and shit. So she brought the baby in. I looked at it and immediately felt nothing. Didn't look like me. By that time, I was like, all right, it's not mine. But still, there's that nerves in the back of your head. But I was like, all right, like, I'm just looking at the kid and, you know, I guess there's some type of connection because you just know. And I didn't have that. Like, I just looked at the kid, was like, what's up, kid? You know, so I was like, you know, that was about it.
Baby.
Hey, baby.
Like, yo, what's up? What you looking at?
And by this time, like, that girl fucking me up. And I look, man, no boo-hoos, but the women minus my mom in my life and my aunt just have fucked me up mentally and emotionally.
I got you.
So literally after I got there early. I got swabbed. My DNA test was done. She showed up and she was getting set. And I went to the lady I was taking a test. I'm like, yo, do me a favor. She was like, what's up? I'm like, yo, don't corrupt this test. I was straight on my paranoid shit.
Nice.
I was like, you're going to do this correctly, right? She was like, what do you mean? I'm like, you're not going to do anything funky? She was like, sir. And like, I guess she was like, sir. She was like, no, this is what's going to happen. This is going to be done. It's cold. This is envelope. I'm like, please. I'm like, I'm just like, yo, please don't fuck this up. You know, because, you know, again, when you have somebody say it's your fault for trusting you, you know, it's your fault for trusting me, that kind of just, on top of mental beatdowns and emotional, I've never been physically abused by a woman, but I've been mentally abused by a woman, or emotionally abused by a woman, let me say. And that leaves a mark. Damaged, man. Like I said, I may be single for the rest of my life. Who knows? But so I told this lady, don't fuck the test up. And I was going to stay there for the test, for her test. I was going to stay there. But then she became,
oh boy,
this asshole, man. Like, just relentless. And I was like, yo, have fun with the test. I'm out.
Because she probably knew it wasn't you. And like these are the times with the moments where she was going to eventually find out who the father was. And probably wasn't the guy that she probably wanted it to be.
Well, she wanted that dude.
Okay. The second
he wanted like, nothing to do with her. He was like, because he already had like 3 kids. All girls, wow. By the way. And he was like, yeah, I don't care if it's mine or not. It ain't mine. I'm not claiming it.
Damn.
Me, I'm the adult. I'm like, all right, I'm going to take this test because I want to know. Like, I'm not going to have this. I'm not going to go through life not knowing. So I'm going to find out.
Pull some shit 5 years later, be like, oh yeah, you owe in back
child support.
Yeah, back child support.
Not even that. Not even that. Just I want to know. Just for the sake of having a kid, like forget the back taxes. And I get what you're saying. That's a fair point. But I take that shit seriously. So I'm going to know. I want to know. And if it's mine, I'm going to man up and be the best dad I could possibly be. So take the test. And I'm like, all right, how long do I have to wait? She was like, it's going to be like a week and change, like a week. I'm like, fuck. I'm like, all right.
Another week of worrying.
Dude, fuck, man. But like 3 days later, they called me. Quick, fast. She was like, yes, this Paul Montalvo. I'm like, yeah. She goes, Social Security, blah, 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 because you got to go through these little checklists to make sure they're talking to the right person.
Like, yo, just fucking tell me, all right?
Tell me, yo.
Like, just tell me, yo.
So she goes, yeah, we did the test. She breaks down the test and she goes, it's 0.00% that you're the father.
Nice.
And I'm like, all right, so what you're saying is like 4 times it's 0.000. So I'm like, so you're saying I'm not. That's what I'm saying. I'm like, so all right, so basically there's no way I can be. So we had this back and forth like 3 times. And she kind of chuckled because she knew where I was coming from.
After that first 0, I would have hung up the phone. I'm like, yo, I'm good. I ran outside and did like 1,000 backflips.
So
did the Harlem Shake.
0 point this motherfucker.
So so it's funny. That's why I call it my Maury moment. Because I'm like, all right, so the last time I asked, I'm like, all right, so just so we're clear, this is not my kid. And she was like, sir, it's not your kid. I'm like, all right. I'm like, thank you, Maury. You made my day. And she started laughing her ass off. She was like, no problem. So they email me the results. That say what it is. Nice. I take a screenshot of it. I send it to the girl. I'm like, 100% not mine. She calls back. She's like, so wait, what's going on? I'm like, I sent you the text. I was like, I
told you what's going on.
I told you. Yo,
I said,
yo, I'm glad we had the same reaction, especially fucking one. Like, yo, I hate that. I hate that. I hate that. I hate that. I fucking hate that.
So
Me too.
Oh man.
I said, look, I said, it's not mine. I sent you a text. I'll send you the screenshot again. They're sending me the thing in the mail. I'll give you a copy. And they said you can go over there and, you know, here's the number. They'll tell you the results in case you don't believe me, because apparently that's the thing. So she's like, okay. And for the first time in 8 months or so, she actually mellows out. She's like, I'm sorry I put you through all that. It was such a half-ass apology, though. It was like, yeah, I'm sorry I put you through all that. I'm like,
I'm sorry
yeah.
you put yourself through all that. I'm surprised she didn't say that.
So she goes, then she starts getting all sack mode. She was like, well, now I'm gonna have a kid without a father. You know, she starts talking sass. So I think she came to the realization that the dude that she wanted had wanted nothing to do with her. I was the one that was gonna be like, well, if it's mine, I'm gonna step up. And I think maybe she strung me along to try to have me warm up to the kid and be like, even though it's not mine, I'm gonna treat it like one of my own. Da, 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 da.
Nope.
So, you know, so she was like, oh man, she's gonna grow up without a father and blah 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 blah. Now look, I had all the opportunity to be a dickbag.
You should have.
While it all happened.
You should have fucking hung up the phone right after, like, whatever she said before she went into that more detailed shit. I'm like, oh, sorry, put you through that. Hung up the fucking phone. Fuck you.
I thought about that, but then
because you were upstanding the whole entire time.
I was
exactly.
Everybody.
You don't need to hear her fucking sob story. You don't need to hear any of that shit. That's the shit you did to your fucking self.
Everybody.
Don't put that shit on me. Goodbye.
She went petty. Yep. He went petty. I was the only one to not go petty because there was no need to. Look, man, there's a little kid involved in this. Like, why are we getting petty? Some real shit going on right now. Bigger than me, bigger than her, bigger than the other dude. Like, it's a kid involved. I wasn't gonna go petty. And honestly, when I found out it wasn't mine, I had the answer I wanted. So there was no need to be petty. Don't get me wrong, I had the opportunity to. I could have let loose. Oh yeah, well nah. When she said, well, now she's gonna have a kid without a father, I said, look, man, little kid has a great mom. You're gonna be fine. That's how I left it.
Fuck that.
That's how I left it. I didn't need to. I won. For lack of a better term, I won. I do not have to be linked with this asshole for the rest of my life. I won. There's no need to be petty. There's no need to throw in an extra low blow when the fight's in hand. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you're winning in the cards, and for 12 rounds you're winning,
sometimes some teams need to be blown out and like an extra, like they need to be taught a lesson or some shit like that.
Yeah,
but some people, yeah.
Sometimes.
But the petty route, all right, but what's the petty route gonna mean to anybody?
I'm talking mad shit. I'm sorry to cut you off, and please finish. But I know I'm talking mad shit. Probably in the heat of the moment, I probably would have reacted the same exact way because that's in my nature. But like, yeah, man, like that it's not even my story, and I'm fucking amped up like it's my story. Like, so I
feel the same way. I'm amped up too. I mean, I probably would have had the Lock Styles P "Fuck You" playing in the background. Dun, 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 dun.
The ampness of it. Again, bro, like you have to realize I had to go through mental anguish for 6-7 months.
That's a long time, man.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
The heightness and all that was beat out of me. Dude, I've been through some emotional bullshit with women. And I told you, this wasn't the one that hurt the most. This was just the biggest lesson learned. One of them. Well, no, because the biggest lesson in that was it's your fault for trusting me.
I thought you meant like as far as women, lesson involved with this particular girl.
No, I'm talking about all the women that have done me dirty. Mm-hmm. This wasn't the one that hurt the most. It wasn't even, it was a lesson, and it was a big lesson, but I don't know if it was the biggest lesson. It just gave me perspective on things. Again, like, you know, it's your fault for trusting me. That's never going to go away. That's singed in my brain. Yeah. So you have 6 months, 7 months of just, dude, it put me in a bad little depression when everything started unfolding. So by the time it was over, there was no vindictiveness. There was no petty. It was over. Like the last gunshot was fired. And that's it. It was just silence after that. So before I spoke to Shorty, I just took it, like, I gathered myself from the information I just learned. I just took a deep breath. And I just, you know, all right, it's over. They're months, man. You just want it to be over. And it was over. Yeah. So after I spoke to her, I wished her well. It's not my problem anymore. I wish you well. You know, because now just, again, like, I'm looking at it from, you not have a baby and there's things going with it, and the baby father wants nothing to do with it. You know, you got your own issues. I'm not just going to go, you know, throw gasoline on you and light it. You have issues.
So confirm it's the other guy that she wanted.
Pretty much.
Okay.
So he won.
Well, pretty much, because I know it wasn't mine. Again, that's where mine ended. I don't care whose it is, not mine.
True.
Looking at the kid, when I saw the kid, it looked like the dude. Had his features. That's why I didn't feel anything when I saw the kid. Like, I just looked at the kid and was like, yeah, not mine. So I guess that's where my pettiness comes in. I don't care anymore. Once it was mine, once the lady was like, it's not yours, I don't care anything. Like, I don't care anymore. I wish you well, but that's the extent of it. I don't care. So I'm not going to lie, though. I guess maybe this is petty. I don't know. I'll let you guys figure it out. So for 1 hour straight, I literally hopped on YouTube and watched Maury Povich, You Were Not the Father compilations.
Compilations.
No, that's
I watched like an hour of Maury, you know, the girl just going, you know you're the father. Look, they got your earlobe. You know the. Yeah, you're not the father. Have the bitch run to the couch
and the guy's like dancing.
Yeah. In my head, I was doing the dance. You know, outside, it was just take a deep breath. It's over. You know, in my head, I was just reliving all those guys that were dancing in those compilations. I was just like, I'm right with you, bro.
If I was to make a movie about this entire story, like the fade out would be like you on the couch, whatever, watching the YouTube videos, and like as it fucking fades away. That would have been perfect. Perfect.
Just right before it fades out, just a little smirk goes on the side of my face, and it just fades out.
Nice.
Wow.
So that's my story.
That shit was great. That shit was fucking great.
It was wonderful.
Even better the second time.
It was wonderful from the call on. The 6 months before that, not so wonderful.
No doubt.
So yeah, again, not the biggest beat down I've ever had emotionally though. So I'm damaged goods, man. Fucked up.
All right, let's get real personal real quick. And you don't have to get into specifics, all right? What is the longest time after a situation with the female like went bad, whatever way it went, like where obviously like it hurt you, like what was the longest period where like it took you a while to recover, to become like, to get over that? And some of this stuff could be like ongoing too, like they could be like shit that like maybe you still haven't resolved yet.
From the one that hurt the most,
it's
never gone away. Ever.
I have to agree with Paul. Yep.
Yeah.
From the one that hurt the most, because the one that hurt the most, well, it had nothing to do with a kid, had nothing to do with a DNA test. One girl. So the one that was started out here and ended up descending down to like number 4 on the list or whatever. It was
number 4.
It was trust
Again,
issues.
you don't. Oh, okay.
Nah, I don't give a fuck. Let's talk about it. I don't care. Okay. So probably the first girl that I could say I probably said I loved. We were doing some things and we would always lose each other, then reconnect. Lose each other and reconnect, lose each other and reconnect. By the time we reconnected one of the last times, and we always said we loved each other, like we just started out as a little kid, junior high puppy love, that went to high school, that went into, you know, just always there. So the last time it was real serious, she was with somebody. And, you know, I love you, but I'm with somebody and I love him. He's going to be the one I want to marry and blah, 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 blah. Fair enough. So we started messing around because, you know, the everything was there. The chemistry, the love, like everything was there. But she was with somebody. But that didn't stop us. So it was one of those things like, okay, don't say anything what we're doing. You know, we'll see what happens in the future, but let's just keep this between us, and this is just an us thing. And she was like, I will take this to the grave. I promise you, I swear on blah, 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 blah. Fast forward like a year later, and she calls up randomly. She's like, yeah, so it turns out that he kind of knew we were messing around. And in order for his relationship and the marriage to move forward, he wants me to tell him everything. I'm like, you said you were going to take this to the grave.
He said everything?
I said, you know, you said you were going to keep this between us. Like you promised this was going to stay between us. She was like, right. Yeah, but I said, look, you know, again, I don't argue. I don't fuss. I don't fight, dude. It's life. There's no sense in fighting life. So if that's what you feel you need to do to save your marriage, okay. You're married. I'm not. So you say everything you feel you have to say. The part I didn't say was just remember you're saying it. You're going back on your word to me that you said that you loved and we love each other and all that. You're taking that bet. And once you do that, all trust is gone. And I didn't tell her that part, but I'm like, look, you do what you have to do to save your marriage. Say what you gotta say. Okay. 2 days later, I get a call from her friend, but I knew her. She's like, yeah, this is so-and-so. You remember me? I'm like, yeah, what's up? She goes, well, she was living as a roommate with both of them. She goes, so she went ahead and told him things, and I guess she told him way more than he knew. She said everything. So he went storming out the house. So, you know, just kind of keep an eye out for whatever. It's like, all right, no problem. And, you know, and again, like we went like this, and sooner or later we came back together, and she wanted to pick up where we left off because she was getting a divorce and all this, that, and third. And I said, you know, anything we do is just going to be physical because there is no more anything. That's the only thing left. To this day, she refuses to have this conversation about why I kind of feel that way because, yo, trust is gone. It's gone. Like it ain't coming back. So that was, and that one ended up being because of the situation. You know, we were fucking around. You were you had a man. So I shouldn't have been in that picture. But you know, the trust thing put it up there. Life dropped it down notches over time. The pregnant thing, that's probably third on the list. Yeah, it's probably third on the list. I guess 1 and 1A is I finally met somebody that was cool. Because again, I've been fucked with. I've been mentally abused. I've been emotionally abused by women my whole time around. By the time I found the right one that I consider the one, she the only way I can describe it, because I've told this to somebody before, is picture like an abused puppy that's just been tied to it's just, tied to a pole, and that's it, just abused. And anybody that comes close to pet it, the dog's like, get the fuck away from me. But then it finally gets pet and it goes, oh wow, like this doesn't hurt, you're not abusing me, this is what love is. So I finally met this girl, and she, I was the puppy that was just an abused little puppy tied to this little stake, and she pet me, and I finally realized, like, oh wait, this is how people treat each other. Like, this is what it's supposed to be, because all my examples are fucked up.
No doubt.
This is what it's supposed to be. She treated me right. I was waiting for some bullshit to happen that never came, because I was just, that's what it is. But I was like, oh no, wait, this is how a human is supposed to treat another person that they like. And this is what it's about. This is the reason this one hurts the most, is because this was my fuck up. I own it, because I was in a horrible place mentally, going through all kind of problems, depressed, and she stuck it out as long as she could. But my negativity was starting to bleed on her, and that just fucked it all up. Like, I finally had somebody that was treating me right, and me going, oh my God, this is what it feels like to get pet. Like, had my little tail wagging, like, oh my God, this is awesome. And then my bullshit fucked it up. That's why it hurts the most, because that's probably the only person to date that has ever treated me good.
No doubt.
So that one sucks on that aspect. The one that I'm talking about, the one that fucked me up the most was, God, I would love to say her name. I'm not going to say her name though. So
No.
I always say it like this. The greatest, not say the greatest, the most important thing a woman can give to a man is her vagina. She has to let it in. She has to be willing to have sex with the dude. She has to make that happen. She has to give that. So that means a lot to a woman. That's why, for the most part, women don't want to give it out like that, because they're giving themselves, they're giving themselves to somebody. The best way I can equate that, a man's vagina is his time and his energy. It's a man's vagina. If he's giving that to you, that means a lot. So it was this girl, she lived in the BX, and I was head over heels. Fuck, she was gorgeous. She had issues. She had anger issues that would stem from like family, and I saw the good in it. So I was like, look, how you're going about things isn't how it's supposed to be. You're not supposed to shoot first and second and then ask questions later. Like, I said, I'm gonna help you out, because I cared for her that much. And my problem was that made me a pincushion. Instead of going, there was times I shouldn't be like, yo, shut the fuck up, and fought fire with fire till she got the point sometimes. But I was like, no, I'm going to show you how it's supposed to be done. And she just took that as okay, and just decided to just throw haymakers and just abused it. Name calling, being deceitful, because that's what she was used to. I was trying to show her it's not that.
I think I remember
yes.
this one.
Yes.
Because
yes.
I know when we were living in the Bronx.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Don't have to go any further than that. So
no.
This was the one girl I gave everything to. Everything. Again, time and energy. If a guy gives that to a girl, that's the most precious. That's a guy's vagina. If he's giving you your time and your energy, that means something. I gave every ounce of it. Like words can't describe the amount I gave. So, it was taken advantage of. She ended up being deceitful, treating me like a piece of shit to the point that I'm like, yo, I've never had anybody that I've called a friend or anything else. Like, you're treating me like an enemy. And I've never had that in my life. But yet, this is the person that it's fucked up, man. It's always the people that fuck you over is the one that you want to help out the most. So that hurt because how much I cared and what I gave. Don't get me wrong. If it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. I can respect that. If it doesn't work out, it didn't work out. But to give your all to somebody and to have the negativity that it was come back, like that was just unfair. That was a beat down. So that's probably the worst. And probably I've never gotten over it. Because now that's now like a defense mechanism. I recovered, I guess would be a way to say it, but I never got better. To this day, I never got better. Just because, again, I can't equate words on the level of what I gave. And I should know enough, but I'm not willing to put myself out there like that again.
And that's, I would say, like, and that's the tough part, So like you were saying, as far as like being the dog that was petted, whatever, like the next female that's gonna come up and be like, oh wow, he's a nice looking dog, like let me see, and you're just gonna bite her finger off.
Well, no, because I guess I did give it another try with this other one that pet the dog and showed it love. And I was like, I embraced it, but I just wasn't ready to do anything because I was going through a bunch of bullshit that just put me in a very dark, negative place. And she probably helped me out a lot. Like, she was technically saved me a couple of times. Just being there and being that little bit of positivity that was there. Being a small beacon of light in complete and utter darkness. So when everything, when my shit bled on her, it just kind of just took me off of relationships. Like, I was just like, I can't win. Like, it just, all these other ones beat me down. I found the right one and my bullshit fucked it up. Yeah. So I just kind of tapped out at that point. And to that day, like, I haven't had a relationship since. Like, I'm fucked up. I'll admit that. Like, when it comes to relationships, I'm fucked up.
I don't know if you should say like that, man, because I think we're all fucked up in a way. So it's not just like, don't even put it like on yourself like it's you. I think it has to deal with your situation with the other person's situation. Do they fucking mesh well? As far as like their fucked upness and your fucked upness, do they come together well?
Well, like we were talking about
baggage, we all, you can't.
Like we were talking about when I was saying, my bad was bad with compared to other people. I don't put mine on any level. There are people like me that have gone through it. The only difference is some of them are willing to trudge along. I'm at, I kind of learned a lesson of, what? It's not even, to me, it might not be worth it. I'm not going to cut my nose off to spite my face. If I find somebody that's willing, like, but right now, I want nothing to do with anybody as far as an emotional level. And it's bad because everything now is just pretty much physical. And because it's only physical, it's completely empty. So round and round in a circle I go. But I don't, that emotional part is fucking with me. Because I gave myself to somebody, the BX chick, and the return on the investment was the equivalent of a headshot.
Yeah.
And then somebody finally embraced me, but my negative where I was at was a
shot.
self-inflicted headshot.
Yeah.
So it's like from both fronts, you know, that's the part that's damaging. That's the part that has me damaged. That's the part that fucked me up. So I'm recovered. We're all fucked up. I just hit a point of, I'm not going to say a point of no return, but, you know, I don't know. I don't know where it leads to, man. Honestly, I don't. I can see, I'll say this. I could see myself being alone for the rest of my life than more so than I could see myself being with somebody.
I'm in the same boat. Same boat.
You give love a try though, man.
I do, and I don't want to do it anymore. It's just like it's too exhausting.
The benefits of finding somebody that means something, like if you could find it, like I wouldn't recommend going my way.
I'm sure that it could be beautiful. You know, it could be like the thing that, like, you know, propels or helps put the person into a better, helps put me in a better space. But
that's what I'm saying.
The cost of that, and like the whole game involved in all of that. I don't have the fucking energy anymore. Just off of what something you said earlier, as far as like when me and Will just flipped out, as far as like just a moment like that would just piss me off. Like if I send you something with a detailed information, like a picture, like you said you sent the results and it had like 0.0 whatever, and then they still ask you, what does this mean? I don't know why, but that shit, like, yo, I turned into like the Hulk. I'm like, what do you mean? It says it right there, like shit like that.
So that's the difference between where we're at, because I've been so dead to it all that it's just like, it means this. Like there is no being hyped about it. It's just, I'm done. I'm numb to it all, dude. Like it all has me fucked up to the point that that's the best way I could put it. I'm just numb. But I'm like Pink Floyd. I'm comfortably numb at this point.
No doubt.
I prefer to go your way than mine. I never recommend doing anything my way. Because you know, kind of going into what we were talking about podcasts ago, like I have to take every punch and I have to run towards the storm. There are certain times that's a necessity, but there are certain times I just do it because that's just what I'm used to. So as far as the relationship thing goes, Len, if you are the type that you want to eventually find love and you're not going to give up until you do it and you're not going to cut your nose off to spite your face, I recommend that. Like the way I do it is not the right way it's supposed to be done, bro. I admit that wholeheartedly. So,
all right. So, like, I mean, I'm open to all that, but I'm not going out of my way anymore. Basically, like it has to come to me. Basically, I'm not gonna go out and like ask this one or ask that one or whatever, or like go on dating sites. I'm just not gonna do that anymore, because like the stories I have in regards to all that is just, they are horrible. And the shit that I just don't want to like deal with again. That whole process, it has to be. I want something more organic, more natural. Like, oh, I'm like the fucking supermarket, and I happen to just like shit like that. You know, like I happen to meet someone there, like in a general conversation or whatever the case may be.
So
shit,
I do the dating sites, and I'll talk my shit to women, but again, my cycle is there's nothing. I only want one thing from you. And that's it. I just want to keep it physical. And that's it. But again, do I want to have somebody like that one time that I had before? Like, yeah, there's a part of me that wants that girl to come back because she moved on. You know, once my bullshit bled on her, she's gorgeous enough and capable enough to go find something else. And she did. That's probably right now one of like 3 people that I would even attempt to do something with as far as building something. Other than that, I'm in a vicious cycle of to take care of needs. I only want physical. The physical is nothing but physical, and I want more. So every physical act I have is empty. Nothing that comes with it. It's empty. It's an empty existence.
Even that could be dangerous too, because like one of the last situations I was with where it was set up, yo, like we had it established, like, yo, this is all that we're gonna be. That's it. And it was going great. But what happened? She caught feelings and fucking ruined the whole fucking thing. It wasn't perfect. Like just a perfect, boom, we know what we're doing. See you later. That kind of deal. Like nothing like, because again, we weren't feeling each other on that level, but the physical level was there, you know? So again, so when a friend of mine who kind of like hooked us up, like she couldn't even tell me like the reason why she stopped calling was because like she caught feelings or whatever, but she had to tell my friend to tell me. But I'm like, yo, we established this like
from day one, yeah.
From day one.
But that's the risk, because again, we're people are emotional. I guess minus me, people are emotional, so that's always there. Saying you want to keep it physical is one thing. Having both parties agree to it, shit happens. Like that's a possibility. Whenever you go into that equation of we're just gonna keep it physical, you can both agree to that 100%. Over time, like people are people, so emotions can develop. Like that's just a fact. There's times you can't avoid that. So that's just the risk that you run when you do it like that. That's just always the risk that runs when you're doing it on just a physical level. I'm emotionally closed off on that level. We get the physical and then my borders just go and that's it. The last one I met was the one that decided to pet this little abused puppy. And the one I met before that I opened up the emotional gauge through was the one in the BX that treated me like a hunk of shit. But that's it. Like that's all I don't know how much more I have left to give. So it's more a me thing. I'm a rental. Emotionally, I'm a rental. You're gonna get a little bit of time with me, and that's probably gonna be it. That's through no fault of theirs. I don't want to say through no fault of mine, but it's my fault. I need to, like what you said, get like how people get over it. I've just never gotten over it. My two worst examples, like I said, the first girl that I said I loved, and that the lack of trust, that was a lesson. The chick that said she was pregnant and all that was a lesson. The other two was just an emotional damage, but it was damaging enough that it fucked me up. So yeah, I would like to eventually get over that and possibly find somebody. I just don't see it happening. Again, I don't recommend that. I don't. So
the games.
It is what it is, man. Life. That's what I'm saying. There is no woe is me. There is no why. Like there is none of that anymore. It's just, it's what it is, man. I've grown numb to it all. So it is what it is. We just keep trudging till we're in a box. That's it.
Hey. That's the route that has to be gone sometimes, unfortunately.
Some people get off that highway. Some people stay on. I'm nothing special in that manner. I'm just that's the lane I'm in right now. Maybe there's a time I find something that makes me want to get off that lane. It hasn't been in years. Every relationship I've had for years have been strictly physical, and that's it. That's all I have to offer right now. That's all I want to give. So, and it's all because of past shit, though. Shit that I should probably get over, but it just hadn't. It's just mentally just a block that I have there. Yeah. Yeah. See? Yeah. That's my story.
No doubt.
So, if anybody has to deal with a DNA test, I hope it's 0.000.
Again, after that first zero, hung up. Peace.
Remember, It's your fault for trusting her. I agree with her on that's the bullshit though. I agree with what she said.
And the story went on, and then as I'm thinking of a particular situation, thinking like what's going on. Again, there's more to it that's kind of killing the whole. But again, I cannot say too much. But yeah, she called it step by step. Called it. I was like, damn, only if I was fucking listening.
Her going, it's your fault for trusting me. I agree with that because of the girl from the BX. She showed me the way. It was a horrible lesson to learn, but her timing of saying that was off. And
the way she said it, yeah.
The way she said it, the timing in which she said it, and the place and the setting.
And if she said it as quickly as she said it, like in her speech pattern, like right after you said it, if the way you said it, and then she's like, well, you should never trust me like that.
Oh, it's your fault for trusting me. She said that immediately. So yeah. So that's my.
I have to agree. So she's right on that.
She is.
Because I also hate when like it's also like when girls always say like, oh, I'm on the pill, and then the guy trusts the girl who's on the pill, and I'm like, yo, we're in like 2021. How many times have we heard a girl say that, forget to take it and get pregnant? So I always usually say, yo, it's on the guy. Even if the girl says that, it's on the guy because we're in 2021.
No, I'm saying, but even taking it, there's still a percentage where one can slip in. So it's not like it's 100% foolproof, or not foolproof, but like foolproof. You know, even the implanted ones where they get that put into
in the arm,
arms, whatever. Like even those can go, they're a little faulty. You know, so again, it's a small percentage, but still, there's a chance there.
And the birth control thing, you're right. No matter what, there's still a percentage. But to have somebody say, I am medically, it's impossible for that to happen. And again,
yeah, that part, I mean, that's a different lane. If you're telling me like
still on the dude though. Still on the dude, which is why, because she followed that up with, but that's why you ain't coming me. That's why you must not trust me.
I would like to know what exactly is her reasoning for, or not reasoning, but like why couldn't she? Like if you're missing details, if you don't have a uterus, then it should be.
She had a uterus.
But if it wasn't, if that was a reason, like she didn't have a uterus, like there's no way I can get pregnant because I don't have a uterus, then you can fire away, But if it was just because of for things that happened, like situations where she never found out the reasoning why she never got pregnant.
It was a medical thing. She told me it was a medical thing.
All right.
So she had a uterus, I'll say that, but medical reasons, doctors said that it was impossible for that to happen.
And they are wrong.
And even then, I was still like, throw them on your face.
Take that, nice.
Because I learned my lessons, man. There's still a lack of trust. Oh, you can't? Good to know. Still not gonna do that though.
Exactly. Yep.
Or you get the ones that want to trap you.
See, but I think that's what it was. She was telling me and the other dudes that so that somebody could go, oh, you can't? I'll take all that. And then bang, and she's now pregnant. That thought was always in my head.
Showed her your old face.
Devious, man. One of those. So I say, women are fucked up. Don't get me wrong. Guys do bullshit too. Easily do bullshit. There's no doubts about that. But women go. So like if a guy cheats, he's gonna go into the bathroom, run the water, turn the shower on. He's gonna do all kind of shit and make his call. I remember I was with a girl. She was cheating on a dude, and I was the person she was cheating with. And we were in the bed, and she goes, don't say anything. I got to call my man up. I'm like, you want to take that to the room or nothing like that? She was like, nah, just be quiet. Called him up in bed naked, talking like I wasn't there. Like I love you, better, like talking shit that I was just looking at her like, wow, like you're devious. And
that'll cause some trust issues right there, man.
Big time.
So, even then I was just taking mental notes like, okay, I see that. Guys play stupid when they cheat. Women are just like, fuck it, stay right there, just don't do anything.
Yeah, man. No, I'm good for right now.
I'm good for right now.
Yeah.
I'm good till I'm 6 feet deep.
I hear you, man. At this point, I may be in that boat.
Like I said, like, yo, I got a girl, son. Must be over here.
Yeah, I haven't yet.
Me.
I would say that, out of me, Lennon, me, you, and Will, you've always wanted somebody. So don't let my bullshit. I get it. You're going through your shit like everybody else does.
I'm letting my life experiences dictate this situation, like how I feel right now. I'm just good.
Well, here's what I could say about myself, and I didn't really learn this about myself until I got older. I actually like being by myself.
So
that's why a lot of people like it's funny because a lot of people, like, I am social. Like I call myself like a social antisocial, where it's like, okay, I'm social with everyone, but I don't necessarily need to be chilling with you every day, talking to you every day. That's why sometimes, like, people be like, yo, I haven't heard from you in like 3 months, but I'm like, I mean, we're still cool. I mean,
right.
I like being by myself, actually. And I didn't learn that till I was older.
I think, but as you get older, like if you're in that way, it kind of grows on you. So like, I feel like I was like that to a point, but then like I've gotten even worse where like I would even consider myself to be like an introvert, like where if I don't have my alone, like my time to myself, it's like my batteries don't work. That's like, I need to be recharged. And like, so like while I'm at work, the amount of talking and interaction that I have to do with people, like, yo, I'm like physically exhausted sometimes at the end of the day. Like I just need to be alone. Like I don't cause like I just can't be around people for like that long period of time.
I'm an introvert. I'm just a weirdo like that. But
there's nothing weird about being an introvert, man. I'm the same way.
I never said there was. But I'm like Willow. You put me in a situation in a social gathering, I'm sociable like a motherfucker.
Right.
In my head though, I'm like, everybody get the fuck away from me. Like,
oh man.
Why is there a room full of people that I have to talk to?
Yeah.
I think a lot of that comes with being comfortable. So if you're single for a while, get comfortable that way.
So I'm saying, so like, I think that it definitely grows on you where you just get comfortable, like where you don't want to, put yourself out there like that in that way,
Yeah.
Like almost like in disguise, like on the low, like this whole epidemic, I'm kind of happy. There's not a lot of people out on the street.
Me too. Me too.
Like, yo,
I'm like cool with it.
Hey, this is like kind of way I live. I'm good. You want to throw a mask on for me? Fine. Okay, fine.
Yeah.
So I agree with that because there used to only be one person in my town that I used to hang out with a lot. That's my peoples, but with the pandemic and just things, he's in the wind. Haven't seen him in months. So I am truly dolo out here, minus whoever I see at work. But I'm good with it. Like I'm just kind of good with just being on my lonesome. Don't know if that's a good thing or not, but I'm good. A lot of people are going like that's what I'm saying. Like minus like when we talked about Len, that initial anxiety and everything that came with the pandemic. Minus that initial holy shit, we're in a pandemic. What the fuck is going on?
Mm-hmm.
Minus that, and I think Will, even you said it, like you were momentarily there.
Yeah.
People like, the introverts, the social, antisocial people. Well, I guess the antisocial people. Once that initial punch comes and you take it, you're back up on your feet. really doesn't affect anybody. Like I see people that's fucking up, man, not really fucking me up, because again, it's just what you're used to.
Yeah.
So you know,
what is gonna fuck me up when things open back up again, and it's gonna be like fucking everyone's gonna be out and about like all day long. Ugh.
I don't know. I don't know if it's gonna be like that. Everybody has this assumption that everything's going back to normal. And I don't know.
I mean, I think there's gonna be there's people that are dying, man, to go out, they need to be outside. They need to
those
be
needy people. Yep. Bunch of needy people.
Yep. And oh man, working with needy people, like I can be after I finish a case, I can just come out, be on my phone or look up something on the internet, whatever, and I'm good. I don't have to tell you about the last case I did. I don't gotta like tell you about my family. But so there's coworkers that are like that, and I gotta stop right here. But just know that shit is exhausting. That is exhausting. Like they can't respect your quiet time or your peace. It's like they just talk the talk. They got nothing else good to say. They just got to talk the talk. And they can't Antoine Talker me right now. Sky talking.
Well, I mean, it just goes on individualism. You know, people aren't necessarily like us that, you know, my quiet, me being alone is what I'm used to, it's what I'm comfortable with. You know, I prefer that. Lots of other people are just like, I need somebody to interact with. Like, you know, I need somebody to talk to. So it is what it is.
Where are the introverted females at? Where they at?
They're home alone being introverted. They're like us with a female version.
Oh man.
They got their own podcast talking about it right now.
Wish I could find a man, but I just like being alone.
Why can't I get a guy that has like a black hoodie on with a Under Armour symbol on it?
And loves the Atlanta Braves.
Yeah. Nowhere to be found. Nowhere.
Nice.
Oh man. All right, gentlemen, I really gotta go though.
Yeah. We're gonna wrap this up.
I gotta go be alone. I really gotta get to my alone time.
No doubt, nah. We're wrapping.
You guys cutting into my alone time.
But not, hey man, that's mysterious. I sometimes I purposely I put my phone in another room. I don't interact with it at all. I just try to do other shit like the way people need to talk to you all the time.
Yeah, nobody bothers me that much.
Oh, you're lucky.
Man, put that out. Everybody leave me alone. All right, so for Mr. William Lendu, you said you gotta go, so we're gonna wrap this up. Appreciate everybody hanging out. This is probably gonna be back-to-back episodes, and probably just gonna do it like that. So we have enough to fill up 2 episodes, so that'll probably be 2 episodes. Then.
All good.
All right, gentlemen, have a good one. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for listening. Will, that's my story. Everybody, wrap it up with pull out and put it in your face. All right, so we out. Dudes.
Later. America.
Nice.
There you go.
Bye.